Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 2 of My Issue With. This is Mo Dirty Bastard. You already know what it is. Hopefully, some of y'all listened to episode 1 and was digging it. I felt really passionate about that first episode. You know what I mean? And this is the second episode, and I gotta give props to Breeze Lou with that entrance that he had. He put me in with the Desperado music. Y'all probably don't know. That's like old school jokes he had with me. He always had that joke with me with the Desperado thing, man. I love the guy for that, man. He still remembers shit like that, man. Also to ODD over there, you know what I'm saying? The other half of the Diablos Sucio, I think was the name of the group. He doing his thing over there with the Yakuza game. Things looks great. Sucks I don't have a PlayStation. That's why like the only game right now I'll probably play. But yeah, shout out to him. It's my brother from another mother. And talking about ODD, this might be an episode that he might like because I had thrown the idea to them, and his response was like, "Well, it was about time somebody says it." And I thought it was hilarious because we live in a society where Batman is seen as like probably the most popular superhero, and rightfully so. Like I don't want to take that away from him. If you're popular because for whatever reason, then you're popular for whatever reason. I'm not gonna take that away from you. But I feel that the reason why people like him doesn't really justify why they think he might be better than Superman. But like I said, I'm gonna go into that. And so, welcome to my show, My Issue With, and this is episode 2. Batman being better than Superman, supposedly. And to start off, I want to say that I don't hate Batman. I don't dislike him either. I don't want to use those kind of words. But I will say that there are aspects of his character that I feel people blow out of proportion. It doesn't really, like, I'm trying to put into words because I don't want, like, I know what I want to say, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to come off like I'm hating Batman or anti-Batman in any way. Excuse me. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, I do like Batman. He's actually in my top 5 favorite superheroes of all time. But I want to point out that Batman's whole background and his mythology is really not that grand. Like there wasn't really that much thought into it. I think in the later on they put a lot more mythology into it, but we'll get into it. I don't want to keep jumping from point A to like point H. Anyway, let's start off with like his background. Batman's background is basically that he's a kid. He was a kid when he witnessed his parents get murdered, and in an alley. Everybody knows the story. And if you don't, I don't know what fucking cave you've been living in or what rock you've been living under, but you need to get the fuck moving. So that is what drives him to become the hero that we all know as Batman. But that's basically it. About Batman, and I don't really see what the dynamic, background he has with that. I mean, first of all, it's not like we never heard of not just a hero, but other characters in other forms of media, like action movies or novels, that their parents got killed. It's a very cliche kind of story. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. But what I'm saying is that it's cliche. Like, we see that a lot. And, in all heroes, there's always some kind of loss. And that loss is what drives them to become ultimately who they become. So, in saying that, I feel that with Batman's parents being dead, he's just, like, there's nothing inspiring about his background. Like, there's nothing to me. I'm just saying to me. I know to everybody else they might think otherwise, but what the case may be. But to me, there's nothing really big about that. And he doesn't really he doesn't really like separate his background more different than any other hero or any other character from any other kind of fictional world apart. The only thing that sets him apart is that he's Batman. But that in itself is just a character. Like Batman himself is just a dark creature of the night. You know, and I think that's pretty cool because I'm into like, you know, dark stuff. You know, when I was in high school, I was a goth, so I was like really into like dark, vampiric, werewolves and all that stuff, and I still am. But when I compare him to somebody like Superman, right, which is the other guy in this conversation, I don't really see what people see, that his mythology or his personality is way more interesting or better than Superman. Now let's take Superman. So what he has in relation with Batman is that his parents are dead. But along with his parents, his whole civilization is dead. His whole culture is dead. And Superman, since young, has to deal with that pressure, that pain, that he is, you know, well, he's not, but at the time he knew that he felt that he was the only Kryptonian left. And yes, technically he's not. There are other Kryptonians, and I think in some issues like they actually build a new Krypton. But whatever. I feel that is a much better aspect of a character than just your parents dying. I can understand the parents thing being a personal stake, but Superman's thing is that he has this whole culture that is extinct. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole culture that has been robbed of its livelihood. And that has a lot of historical context. And he's adopted. You know, so anybody who's adopted should feel how Superman feels. Anybody who feels different. The thing about Superman is you're not supposed to think, I can't relate to him because I can't pick up cars. No, you're supposed to relate to him because he's different. That's it. Not because he's a loser. Not because he's a fucking loser teenager in high school. Not because he's blind. Not because, you know, he's human. He can't take bullets. But yeah, he's just different. That's always Superman's supposed to be. He's just different. And I like that aspect of his story. And I like his character because of that. And I feel he has a much stronger character than Batman. Batman is like over 30, I'm assuming. Like in his like canon age, and he still can't get over his parents' death. What does that say more about? What does that say more about his character? You know what I'm saying? Because it just seems like he can't take it. So what he does is that he goes out and he beats up thugs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that just shows like a very irresponsible and and lazy way to cope with your parents' death. Superman, on the other hand, he's trying to save the human civilization because he doesn't want what happened to his culture happen to them. And I feel that's a way more noble cause than beating up Lucky Two-Tone in the corner because he's selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that that's not good, but you can't relate Batman's heroism to Superman's heroism, because Superman's heroism at the end of the day is the world, and Batman's is just Gotham. So how do you like Batman because his personality is more interesting? What personality? He has a multitude of personalities. He has like the rich boy, then he has like the serious Bruce Wayne, then he has Batman. He has a whole bunch of shit. And I'm not saying that that's... I understand why he uses each one, because he needs to portray a certain aspect of himself to different people in society. But, okay, what's so interesting about that? Superman's character is all about himself holding himself back because he knows what he can ultimately do. Actually, he doesn't know. That's why he's holding himself back. Because he doesn't know how far he can take his powers. He doesn't know exactly what he can do. He doesn't know if he could fully unleash himself. Will he actually become maybe evil, maybe bad, probably kill somebody? That's way more interesting to me. I never understood why people think that Superman doesn't have a character. They when they think of Superman, they just think he picks up stuff and throws it. And maybe he's more of a brawler. I give you that. But I would... Matter of fact, going into the fighting real quick, I'd rather take him punching people through buildings and picking up cars and slamming them than just like a batarang being thrown. And most occasions, I should say, because sometimes Batman might be doing some legit crazy shit, and I love it. But going back to the personality thing, I'm not saying that Superman's personality is better. To me, it is, but I don't want to put that out there as a fact. What I'm trying to say is that Superman does have a personality. He does have character, and he has an interesting mythology. And it's not fair that he's been categorized as this to the point where like they feel like Batman is better than him in every aspect. No, he's not. First of all, he can't even beat Superman in a fight. Let's just be honest about that. He can't beat Superman. I don't give a fuck. Doom, Babel. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. He can't beat Superman in a fight. Understand? And even if you motherfuckers be like, oh, well, give him time to prepare and he could beat Superman, that just proves that he can't beat him in a fight. That means he has to go back, study the fight, or study Superman, and then he has to come prepared. If he's coming prepared, then he already knows what to do to beat Superman. That's not a fair fight. A fair fight is both of these guys unleashed at each other. And Superman will annihilate Batman. So we gotta get the fight out. The costume, I give it to Batman. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. I ain't gonna lie to you. That costume is legit, okay? And then for some reason, no matter how different they do it, like they could change the color, or the bat signal gets a little bit wider, or gets a little bit thinner, or taller, or shorter in height, or the edges are more rounded, whatever the fuck you want to say. His outfits still look legit. His outfits look legit. Now, Superman's outfit is sick. I'm not saying that he don't got no sick outfits, but I'm a sucker for black, including black girls. You know what I'm saying? But that's beyond. that's something else. That's something else. But he has a cool outfit. He has a better outfit in most cases. Because that outfit that he had with that he had no underwear, which I always said about Superman. Oh my God, I used to kill me. I used to say, you have no idea for how long I used to say, somebody needs to take those underwears off of these heroes, right? First of all, we need two things. One of those things happened, but now it came back. Supposedly, from what I heard, because I don't read comics anymore, not like I used to. But from what I heard, I think they brought back Superman's tights, like the underwear. I hated that. I always hated that. But anyway, I always said two things about outfits. One, we need to get those red tights, those red underwears off of Superman. And the whole all blue outfit, that was sick. I loved it. Like, it looked like a one piece. Fuck it, I'm rolling with it. They should have fucking stayed with that. But now supposedly they went back, which is completely ridiculous. And the second one, Captain America does not need a helmet or a mask. I don't like Captain America with a helmet, and I've been saying this for the longest time. And you can ask Breeze about this. Breeze will mention it. I've been saying this for the longest. Captain America looks way more legit with just the outfit and the shield and without a helmet or a mask, whatever you want to consider it. Like, he just looks way better. He just looks more legit. I don't know why. He just looks more legit. I feel like the helmet, it just adds a certain level of goofiness that I just can't understand. I can't put it in my head. But anyway, I'm trying to make this not too long, so let me get out of that. But like I said, like Batman's psychology, it's really just him still coping with the death of his parents. That's all it really is at the end of the day. That's what it really is. Now, Superman at the end of the day, yeah, he's coping with the the demise of his culture and his civilization, but he's moved on. Now he's like, I gotta save these people now. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta save these people now. And before y'all say, oh, but that's what Batman's doing too. He's stopping these criminals because, like, he doesn't want that to happen to him. To everybody. No, he's lashing out. Superman is coping. He's coping with what he's doing. He's moved on. He's like, okay, this is what happened. Now it's about these people that they're defenseless. They can't fight off all these other like alien invaders off. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he knows we need our free will to do whatever we need to do. This is a very interesting character. Everybody said, well, if Superman is so strong and so fast, he could just stop everything in the world, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what Superman's personality is. That's not what he's about. He's about defending us, but he's also he also lets us rule on our own. He gives us free. He's not God. You know what I'm saying? That he can control every aspect. He's not God. So that's why when they be like, oh, he should just stop Saddam Hussein, he should just stop this guy, like stuff like stop dictate. He also knows that we need to grow as a species. He doesn't want to involve himself in that. He knows that. He's like, look, if I stop everything for y'all, how do y'all learn y'all mistakes? How do y'all know how to learn from mistakes and move on and better yourselves as a human civilization? This is Superman. This is Superman's thinking. This is why he doesn't deal with things like that. Political issues, he understands that we as humans need to deal with our own things most of the time. When it comes to like criminals and aiding invaders and people trying to kill the human species, hey, he's there for us. But other than that, when it comes to like political things, social things, it has to be us that has to deal with that issue. That's why he's never dealing with that kind of stuff. But that's a more interesting character to me. That's a more interesting character because his ideology is way that beyond of Batman. Batman is just like, my parents are dead and I hate that. Let me stop this mugger. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, if you want to talk about Joker, Penguin, Riddler, those are his villains. Those are his villains. If anything, I feel that's what makes Batman interesting. His villains. Joker, Mad Hatter, Two-Face, who happens to be my favorite. Yes, that's right. God damn it, I said it. He is my favorite. Penguin, I don't know if I said Penguin already. Riddler, you know what I'm saying? Clock King. Y'all motherfuckers are sleeping on Clock King. Okay? That dude is legit, man. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. I don't give a fuck if it's the new Clock King or the old Clock King for the Batman animated series. The Huddy Ho Batman, like that motherfucker. I can't do his voice, but he was very like he was very like like posh, bro. Hey, I like that guy. That dude, he deserves like his own like animated film or an episode, like a 2-parter. Dude, if you had me writing for these motherfuckers, man, forget about it. Anyway, like I said, it's his villains. His villains make Batman interesting, but that's not him. It's these other characters that got their own personalities, that got their own backgrounds, that make him a bit more interesting, and not directly to him. It just makes whatever. Like, watch Dark Knight. Ain't nobody in here gonna tell me that they saw Dark Knight and they thought Batman's character was better than the Joker. Ain't nobody saw Batman Begins and thought that Batman's character was better than Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, whatever you prefer. Ain't nobody told me they saw Dark Knight Returns and they thought Batman was better than Bane. They can say that, oh yeah, you know, but Batman was going through stuff. Yeah, you know, he was struggling. Well, okay, he was. Who was more interesting? That's the question. Interesting doesn't mean that he struggled more or he went through some shit. Interesting means that the way that person is portrayed, everything, all of that, 1 + 1 = 2. The whole equation is there and it equals to something great. Ain't nobody gonna tell me in none of those movies Batman was more interesting than the villain. He wasn't even more interesting than Scarecrow, and Scarecrow was secondary man to Ra's al Ghul. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not Batman that you're just like, he's a great character. No, it's his villains. It's his villains. It's always been his villains. His villains, like, his villains are outshine him. If any, I'll put money on it that Joker might have a bigger fan base than Batman. Shit, I'll go far and say Harley Quinn. I might be going a little too far with that one, but I could see it. I could argue Joker is probably the most famous character in the DC world, and I put money on that. You understand what I'm saying? Because everybody knows Joker, everybody likes Joker, and all of this. Hey, and you want to tell me that the whole Batman Joker parallel is interesting? Look, I'll give you that. It's an interesting kind of like a yin yang kind of thing, but it's Joker doing most of the talking, doing most of the actions. Batman is just there to just fuck his whole plot up. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Batman himself, stripped off his villains, he's just a boy who hasn't gotten over his parents' death. That's all he is. That's all he is at the end of the day, and that's cool, but that's minute. That's inferior to Superman's character, who's all about moving on, taking on the next challenge. What's next, homie? Let's do this. You understand what I'm saying? That's completely different than who Superman is. Because Superman not only has to deal with the pressure of his civilization extent and also moved on to save our species, but also lets us run our shit the way we want to run it. He's a character that has these high standard morals. You know what I'm saying? And nobody in that universe compares to Superman's ideology. Nobody. There's nobody in there that compares to his ideology. So, you know, and I should be closing in a few because I don't want to make this too long, but you can't say Batman's character is better. You can't say, because Superman's psychology, man, talk about psychology. If you read his issues, it deals with a lot of social dilemmas, political dilemmas, psychological dilemmas. It deals with a lot. You know, it's like the whole thing with Darkseid. Why Superman would never kill Darkseid? That's a political move. That's a social move, because he knows Darkseid got his own civilization, and they know that there's people. Remember the cartoon, that people actually love him, that actually don't want him to die, and Superman is like, okay, I'll let him live, because Superman is always knows, and Darkseid always knows that Superman is there to check him whenever he gets out of line. He knows that killing Darkseid is not going to solve anything. It's just going to make everything worse. Because Superman knows that at the end of the day, yes, Darkseid is evil and he does this. He enslaves planets. You know, he has, like, he's a dictator. He's a galactic dictator. But he keeps shit on lock. He knows Darkseid. This is what Darkseid does. He keeps shit on lock. You understand what I'm saying? And he knows that if he kills him, there's going to be a civil war between all these, like, federations that, like, Darkseid got made up. And there's going to be even more death. You understand what I'm saying? So Superman knows. You don't think Superman will want to just kill Darkseid? Of course he does. But he knows that socially, politically, is a bad move. Because the whole thing would go into chaos. And yes, he's a madman. But like the old saying goes, there's a method to his madness. To Darkseid's madness. There's a method to it. So these are things that Batman don't have to deal with. He never has to deal with this shit. This is Superman dealing with this shit. Superman is like a superhero who's also a politician and a socialist. Not socialist. Not that kind of socialist. But like he's like he's dealing with so much shit. And if people would just open their minds or just read a good issue of Superman, because don't get me wrong, there are some bad issues of Superman that they're fucking horrible. I don't blame you for that. And I do feel Batman stories are better written, but not because he's an interesting character. It's just because they have better writers on it. If it's not better writers, it's because they make sure that the writers are on point when they write for Batman. And, you know, like I said, like, what can you tell me that Batman has better over Superman other than his look and his role gallery? I give you that. But the Batman's role gallery is just like they make themselves good. Right now, one of the best episodes of the Batman anime series was when the villains were all talking, when they was playing poker and they was all saying how they came close to killing Batman or some shit like that. That was one of the best episodes made for that show, and a lot of people say that's one of their favorite episodes by a long shot, by a majority vote. And it's the villains. It's the villains carrying that. I understand that at the end of the day, people are like, yo, but you're trying to kill Batman. No. You were glued to that because the villains were there talking about it. Not Batman. You know what I'm saying? So take it for what you will, man. I mean, I've been arguing about this for a long time, and it probably won't end. And you know, people are still gonna think Batman's better, and that's cool. That's cool. This is my 2 cents on it. You know what I mean? This is my 2 cents. I'm pretty sure I could have said way more. Who knows? Maybe I'll do something else with it. We'll see. But you know, hopefully you're enjoying these. You know, cause it's just my little thing in the House of Pain page, because everybody's doing their own thing, and You know, I'm just over here with the fucking audio and everybody else doing videos and shit. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. And you know, no, I mean, I hope, you know, their videos are great. They do good stuff. And we haven't done anything together. I don't know if they want me to say it, but we just haven't done stuff together because, you know, I've been working and the other guys, you know, they've been taking care of business, you know what I'm saying, doing what they gotta do. So hopefully, like, sooner or later we could do a podcast together, guys. Like, we really need to get back on that. You know, and I miss y'all motherfuckers, man. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's episode 2. You know, let me know what you think. We could have like a little argument, maybe, if I feel like it. Comment. You know, do whatever you feel you need to do. Like or dislike, subscribe, share it, please. Episode 3, I'm trying to make this weekly thing, but it's hard because with my work schedule, like, my schedule changes every week, so I don't know what my days off are, and sometimes it depends on my mood. Like today I was good because I had the place to myself and I'm not working, and it's like early in the day, you know, it's like what, like 12:40 something, so, you know, it's early in the day, you know what I'm saying. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I could do it, I'm in the mood right now. So there's a lot of factors that go into me doing these things. And these are things going on top of my head. So if I have a certain way of talking or a certain way of like jumping subjects, it's because it's not organized. It's just off the top of my head. But yeah, episode 3 should be coming. I don't know, next week or the week after that. Hopefully, if I could just like keep this thing going. I don't know what it is, and I will never tell y'all. Unless this thing really gets going with people, then I'll post, like, you know, what's the next thing that's coming and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just gonna keep it like just mysterious, and you just find out when I post it up. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Like, share, and subscribe, please. Like, support us. We're the realest motherfuckers on YouTube at this point. But yeah, stay tuned. Shout out to the rest of the members of House of Pain. All right. Love y'all motherfuckers.